You're very welcome back to the Irish Political Roundup with me, Roisin Cllr.
And me, Paul Brophy.
And we are with one of Ireland's favourite TDs, who is one of the most outspoken TDs in Dáil Éireann, and who, you really do put them questions to the government, and really outspoken and really speaking for the opposition, Deputy Ken O'Flynn.
Well, I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't speaking up for the opposition, I suppose, is the first thing I would say to you. I don't know about being the favourite TD either. I think there's a lot of people who'd like to see me not a TD. But thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. Delighted to be with you again, and congratulations. I'm seeing all these new exciting equipment as well from you, and so things are getting bigger and better for you guys as well, yeah? So that's good to see.
With camera angles and different things like that. So
good stuff.
It's very, very interesting. It's exciting as well.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
We're having fun and we're telling the political story.
Oh,
We
good.
are. Deputy Ken O'Flynn, Independent Ireland, over the summer, I don't think you took any days off, because every day it was actually really heartwarming to watch the Independent Ireland were on the plinth or in the Dáil and putting out videos and messages and press releases out during the summer recess. You're talking about the frivolous ideologies. Well, I'm not getting an answer. Last week, you asked the Minister, Helen McEntee, a question. What is a woman? And she never answered. I find that very interesting, that a woman could, who's a minister, and that could not answer what a woman is.
Well, I'm very disappointed with the entire answer of Helen McEntee. I think she was very aggressive towards me. I'm used to aggression across the house, that's the banter of... I believe I've actually written to the Cllr about this because I didn't get an answer to my question. And she said, she made the statement also that I was misleading the House in what I'd said. Now, what I had said, very, very factually, is that there's an X chromosome, an XY chromosome, with the exception of intersex, which is 1 in 6 million chance. There's only the male and female. And I strongly believe that 10 and 11-year-olds should not be taught about 25, 35, 85 genders. So yeah, look, I asked the Minister for Education a very simple question. What is a man? What is a woman? What is a woman, actually, is what I asked her directly. The Minister proceeded then to go on and give a long-winded rebuttal and, try to make out that I was misleading the House. I'm not quite sure, because what I said and what I fully believe is that schools should not be laboratory for ideology. I believe that there's enough things going wrong in schools, whether it's the amount of young children passing from 6th class onto first year that have serious problems when it comes to reading and writing, when it comes to problems with adult literacy, when it comes to problems with mathematics. I think we should be getting that first. I would have loved if the Minister came out with her statement and said, after 27 years, we're going to change the agenda, and by the end of the lifetime of this government, we're going to have every child in Ireland will be leaving at the age of 12 school proficient and excellent in cursive, in mathematics, in reading and writing, the basics, and would be able to speak a second language.
Yes.
I think that would be fantastic if that's what we achieve, that every child in Ireland could either speak Chinese or French or Spanish or, one of those languages that's going to help them, or, that we're going to introduce coding. We all know AI and computers is the future, to date. Instead, they're introducing an ideology of talking about sex to 9, 10, 11-year-olds, talking about how many genders are out there. We still haven't recognized that to my mind, there's 2 genders. There's male and female, with the exception of the intersex, which is 1 in 6 million chance. We're talking about same-sex attraction. And I wonder, is there enough going on in children's lives today, rather than worrying about same-sex attraction, rather than talking about, and I think that's very confusing for a 10-year-old to take it. Leave them be kids.
Yeah,
Leave them be kids.
And
there has been a huge forum of parents over the last number of years who have said no to this, who do not want ideologies taught in their school, who do not want sex education. I believe that's the job of a parent. I don't think it's for the state to decide when your child loses their innocence. I have a huge problem with that. And I think the minister's dismissal of what I had said and the question that I had answered shows how removed and how silly life has become in the bubble of government when a minister can't get up, female minister or somebody who identifies as a female minister and a mother, cannot tell me that what a woman is, or cannot identify, or doesn't have the guts to say what a woman is. That's probably more annoying than anything else, because I'm sure she has the education and the mindset that she knows exactly what a woman is, but she certainly doesn't have the guts to say out in a public forum what she believes a woman is. And if she doesn't believe that a woman is what a biological woman, no, that's fine. Argue the point with me, but have the guts to say what you believe a woman is.
But I think
it's not a mindset. To my mind, it's not a mindset. And look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I know people that are trans. Some of them are lovely, very nice, decent people. I have no problem with that. I think we have to be very respectful of that. But I think we also have to be honest with one another and say, just because you wear lipstick and wear a dress doesn't make you a woman. You know? And I shouldn't have to be involved in your fantasy of life. But I think, you know, if you're not hurting anyone, don't have a problem with it. You know, and everyone should get to live their life the way they want to live their life. But don't ask me to indulge you in saying that, you know, and I accept that people are trans, and I'm fine to, and I accept that people would say, well, I'm a trans woman, but don't call yourself a woman. To my mind, you know, other people have a different view.
I think, from my personal view, I think that any decision that an individual wants to say or do in their private life over the age of 18 or 25 is up to them. But allow children to have their innocence. And an awful lot of parents and children, I'm talking to a lot of teenagers, and they don't want to hear that in school. And they feel it's being forced down them. And they're embarrassed and they don't want it. And parents don't want it.
Yeah. Well, look, I think most of us got our sex education from, it was my mother sat me down, you know. And God knows that was an embarrassing enough conversation to have with your mother, you know. But, and that's how it is, you know. And I think it should be up to the parents, you know. And then, you know, there's a later period in you know, when you're 14 or 15 and when you're able to comprehend far more complex issues and things like that, maybe that's the time to have that discussion. And I think a lot of parents will be open to that, you know. But I really feel that when you're, God, you know, I think back when I was 10 years of age, you know, I was thinking about Action Man and He-Man and going out and playing in the swings and fighting with my brothers, and, you know, that's what I was interested in.
Out on the bikes until 12 o'clock at night.
And tried to stay out as late as possible, you know. I wasn't interested in who was sleeping with who and who was doing what and what was going on here. It didn't even enter my mind.
It's over-sexualizing children.
I think so. There's been a tendency to do that. And, you know, let's leave children have their innocence. You know, and you know, there's enough. God knows there's enough pressures
too much
in life now with the way life has gone for a lot of families.
And also,
you know,
there's teachers out there who are not comfortable with a lot of the content there. And what happens if you're a teacher and say, I'm not comfortable teaching that?
Teaching this,
you know?
or having this discussion with children as well, and the process around this, you know, there's all these NGOs and specialized groups that are coming and advise the minister and the department, and they'll put their great argument together, and they're all being, you know, but let's start listening to the teachers and let's start listening to the parents, and they've been ignored. The majority have been ignored over and over again. There's been a lot of assemblies of parents and the whole lot, and they've been ignored. And the minister made a very peculiar statement saying, you know, we've already gone out and asked children about this. And they say by the time they were 12 years of age, they didn't need the sex education or sex training. You know, let's go back to that and let's say, but maybe we should be teaching respect in schools, respect for yourself, respect for boys and girls, and respect for other people's ideals and respect for other people's religions and perspective of life. Let's build children into that and start that from an early age. And then you can have the adult conversation when they're closer to their adulthood.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
That's
That's what I believe. And that's, you know.
Well, Deputy Ken
Thank you so
O'Flynn,
much.
thank you so much
Not
for
at all.
taking
Thank
the
you
time
for your
to speak
time.
to Paul and I.
No, I enjoyed the conversation.